Whoops, Putin's favorite Russian propaganda firm was just tied to Hillary Clinton. By Amy Moreno for TruthFeedNews.com. The plot thickens. Well. The Russian plot thickens. As it does, Hillary Clinton finds herself deeper and deeper in the sludge of it all. Now we're learning that Putin's favorite Russian propaganda firm is tied to Hillary and the discredited dirty dossier. This is further proof that the only Russian collusion was with Hillary and the Democrats. We're so shocked. From Breitbart, New York, Jonathan M. Weiner, the Obama State Department official who acknowledged regularly interfacing and exchanging information with the author of the largely discredited 35-page anti-Trump dossier, signed disclosure forms for his former firm to represent a Russian billionaire known as Russian President Vladimir Putin's favorite oligarch. The detail being brought to light herein may raise immediate questions about the origins of the dossier. The oligarch Oleg Deripaska had a reported business dispute with former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort, is closely tied to Putin and has long been viewed as pushing Russian national interests. Already there have been questions about Deripaska's possible relationship with dossier author Christopher Steele amid reports that the billionaire may have served as a source for the dossier itself. Also recently leaked text messages show extensive communication between a Russian-connected lawyer and Senator Mark Warner, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee. The attorney, Adam Waldman, was a paid lobbyist for Deripaska. The messages show Warner attempted to arrange a meeting with Steele through Waldman. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Charles Grassley recently sent a letter to an attorney believed to be working for Deripaska asking whether the lawyer had hired Steele's private firm, Orbis Business Intelligence Limited, to do work on behalf of Deripaska. A recent New Yorker article profiling Steele also raised the possibility that Deripaska was one of Steele's private clients. At a hearing last month, Senator Tom Cotton asked FBI Director Christopher Wray whether there was information that Steele was working with Deripaska when he compiled the dossier. Wray responded that he could not answer the question at a public hearing. I wonder why. A January letter from Grassley sent to John Podesta, who served as chairman of Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign, asked Podesta to provide the Senate Judicial Committee with correspondence with numerous individuals, including Deripaska. That same letter was sent to the Perkins Coie law firm, which represented Clinton's campaign, and the DNC. Steele was commissioned to produce the dossier by the controversial Fusion GPS opposition research firm, which was paid for its anti-Trump work by Clinton's 2016 campaign and the DNC via Perkins Coie. Okay, we know that. While questions surrounding Steele's possible ties to Deripaska, the news media and legislative investigators may have missed a confirmed link between Deripaska and a State Department official involved in passing anti-Trump claims to Steele during the period that the dossier was compiled, namely Weiner, who worked for Feinstein. After his name surfaced in news media reports related to probes by House Republicans into the dossier, Weiner authored a Washington Post op-ed in which he conceded that while he was working at the State Department, he exchanged documents and information with dossier author and former British spy Christopher Steele. Weiner further acknowledged that while at the State Department, he shared anti-Trump material with Steele, passed it to him by longtime Clinton confidant Sidney Blumenthal, who Weiner described as an old friend. Weiner wrote that the material from Blumenthal, which Weiner in turn gave to Steele, originated with Cody Shearer, who is a controversial figure long tied to various Clinton scandals. The Steele dossier was reportedly utilized by the FBI in part to conduct its probe into Trump over unsubstantiated claims of collusion with Russia. According to House Intelligence Committee documents, the questionable dossier was also used by Obama administration officials to obtain a FISA warrant to conduct surveillance on Carter Page, who briefly served as a volunteer foreign policy advisor to Trump's campaign. Doesn't that ring of some sort of red flags go up? The political origin of the dossier and issues relating to Steele's credibility as a source were kept from the FISA court, a House Republican memo documents. Weiner's firm represented Deripaska in visa dispute. In July of 2006, the U.S. canceled a multi-entry visa that Deripaska had secured 1 year earlier, with the Wall Street Journal linking the decision to concerns over the mogul's alleged ties to organized crime. Deripaska has denied these charges. In 2005, Deripaska hired the Alston and Bird law firm to lobby on his behalf, paying the firm about $260,000, according to disclosure forms obtained at the time by Reuters. The lobby work was related to Department of State visa policies and procedures, the document states. Weiner at the time was a partner at Alston and Bird. He was the individual who filed the forms to represent Deripaska, Reuters reported at the time. Weiner exchanged information with Steele. Weiner served in Bill Clinton's administration as the U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for International Law Enforcement. He wrote in his recent Washington Post op-ed that he rejoined the State Department in 2013 at the insistence of John Kerry. In 2013, I returned to the State Department at the request of Secretary of State John F. Kerry, whom I had previously served as Senate counsel, he wrote. In the Post piece, Weiner related that while he was at the State Department, he repeatedly passed Russia-related documents from Steele to state officials, including to Victoria Nuland, a career diplomat who worked under the Clintons and served as Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs under Kerry. Over the next 2 years, I shared more than 100 of Steele's reports with the Russia experts at the State Department who continue to find them useful, he wrote. Weiner wrote that in the summer of 2016, Steele told me that he had learned of disturbing information regarding possible ties between Donald Trump, his campaign, and senior Russian officials. Weiner says that he met with Steele in September of 2016 to discuss details that would later become known as the anti-Trump dossier. Weiner wrote that he prepared a 2-page summary of Steele's information and shared it with Nuland, who indicated that, like me, she felt that the Secretary of State needed to be made aware of this material, as if it was a surprise to Hillary Clinton, anything that took place. Besides bringing Steele's dossier information to the State Department, Weiner conceded that he also passed information from Blumenthal to Steele, specifically charges about Trump that originated with Shearer. Weiner described that he claimed was the evolution of his contacts with Blumenthal regarding Shearer's information. In late September, I spoke with an old friend, Sidney Blumenthal, who I met 30 years ago when I was investigating the Iran-Contra affair from then Senator Kerry, and Blumenthal was a reporter at the Post. At the time, Russian hacking was at the front and center in the 2016 presidential campaign. The emails of Blumenthal, who had a long association with Bill and Hillary Clinton, had been hacked in 2013 through a Russian server. While talking about that hacking, Blumenthal and I discussed Steele's reports. He showed me notes gathered by a journalist. I did not know, Cody Shearer, that alleged that the Russians had compromising information on Trump of a sexual and financial nature. Yeah, right. That's why we've been investigating this for about a year and a half, and you've come up empty. What struck me was how some of the material echoed Steele's, but appeared to involve different sources. Shearer had numerous close personal and family connections to the Clintons and has reportedly been involved in numerous antics tied to them. National Review previously dubbed Shearer a creepy Clinton confidant and the strangest character in Hillary's vast left-wing conspiracy. So I'd like to know what's going on with a 3-hour article. But you know what the thing is? The thing is, they have nothing on Trump. They're all tied together. But they don't mention Carter Page. Carter Page, he worked for the Clintons in the 90s. So, and the FISA warrant was obtained on Carter Page, and Carter Page was given credit at a certain point from the FBI because he worked for the FBI. How convenient to get a FISA warrant on this Carter Page guy. Not too many people are talking about that. The whole FISA incident deals with Carter Page. And yet they're not disclosing that he's been working for the Clintons in the 90s. He worked for the FBI. And then all of a sudden, it's like, not all of us, it's like the FBI got the FISA warrant to investigate Carter Page. But they weren't investigating Carter Page. They were investigating what's going on with Trump. But they couldn't get it under Trump's name. And they used him as a patsy, this Carter Page guy. So, I'd like to see more reported on this Carter Page. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.